The EPA is accusing Fiat Chrysler of cheating on emissions with its diesel trucks.
Here we go again.
What the EPA found was, there are a few things in your cars, a few parts that you guys didn't report, and we're concerned that it might be leading to cheating when we do the emissions tests in the labs. You know, they're worried that there are certain, they're referred to as defeat devices, that, you know, start playing a role when the cars are tested in labs and then shut off when the cars are driven on the road.
What's actually happening is that a computer inside the car is constantly monitoring the condition the car is under and making adjustments that it thinks is best for whatever the scenario is. You see, they don't allow the automakers to show what their emission standards are in real-world driving scenarios. They just hook a detector up to the tailpipe and idle the car. Sometimes they'll put it on a dynamometer. That means the wheels are turning at highway speeds, even though it isn't actually driving. It doesn't simulate things like the air resistance the car experiences, what happens around curves or at traffic lights, accelerating, braking, or anything like that. It is not a measure of real-world driving conditions. The computers in these cars are set to make adjustments for the specific scenario the car is in at the time, which morons like the EPA and the Young Turks call cheating. But at least their standards are based on actual real-world data, unlike the EPA's.
And so why would they do this? Why don't they just cut emissions and not cheat? Well, when you cut emissions when it comes to diesel vehicles, you kind of compromise some of the performance of the car.
Let's say it like it is. Think of a triangle. One point of the triangle is emissions, another is gas mileage, and the third is safety. You cannot have all three. If you want to improve one, the other two have to suffer. So you have federal safety standards for cars pulling it in one direction, mileage standards pulling it in a second direction, and the emission standards pulling it in a third. These standards all work against each other. They make it almost impossible for the car makers to comply with all of it, and they cancel out the effects that the others have. Oh, but it doesn't cancel out the spending that's spent on these, or the number of regulations the car manufacturers have to apply with. Those triple up.
So, on closer inspection, the EPA discovered these vehicles also contained at least 8 undisclosed pieces of software that can alter how a vehicle produces air pollution.
What they never want to seem to mention is that by doing this, they can get the gas mileage up to about where the hybrids are. Yes, the whole entire reason your gas mileage is as crappy as it is these ridiculous emission standards.
Look, usually corporations tend to get away with bad behavior.
Bad behavior! Emission standards long ago dropped below the level that posed any danger to anyone. What did the EPA do then? They dropped the standards even lower. So now, perfectly safe cars exceeded the new standards. So they met those. And then the EPA dropped them even lower. Back when it was VW doing this, the media was scaremongering about VW spewing out 40 times the allowable limit of mononitrogen oxides. But that figure is not the whole exhaust. It's a decimal of a percentage, hundredths of a gram per kilometer. And how many studies does the EPA have showing that this additional drop in emissions gives anyone any benefit? None whatsoever.
Chrysler is probably going to be pleading their case in front of a Trump administration.
That's right.
And we know that the Trump administration doesn't respect the EPA.
Well, there's one good thing about Trump.
To say that it was sort of accidental, so this is advanced software, it seems, that was put in these cars designed specifically to outsmart the lab tests.
Yes.
So they should be called out on it.
No, they were designed to compensate for the specific scenario the car is under. When it's in the lab, it's in a different scenario. The amazing thing is how many European countries are just fine with these emission levels. And those countries aren't exactly lax in this area. It would be so easy, not to mention better for the car industry and consumers, to set these to be more in line with the Euro standards. But they won't. This is not about the environment. This is not about making us healthier. This is about political power and nothing else. Stop falling for it. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, why not hit like and subscribe? And to make sure I can keep producing content, support this channel by becoming a patron. And check out all the other great content here, like this video selected especially for you.